Perfect timing, Rack. Geez, hello, hello. I am Pretty Bird.
And I am Sweet Pea.
And together we are Pretty Sweet. Welcome to Pretty Sweet Distractions, where we speak unfiltered about life, love, poetry, and prowess. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the distractions in the form of open discussions on artful words. Now, we do have a few itty bitty rules. We are grown up people talking about grown up things using all the grown up words. You have been warned. If you are easily offended, this may not be your bouncing tea bag, cup of tea, or whatever floats your boat. So we like to have fun, poke fun, and generally have a great time. So if you are down to be distracted, come hang out, chat, call, like, follow, share, leave your opinions on our opinions, click all the hearts, and show us some love. We have live streams every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. So tonight it is Midnight Confessions. Desire in the shadows when no one is watching. Tell us your naughty secrets in sultry words. Make us melt with your midnight confession. So I am expecting some pretty steamy poetry and a whole lot of conversation. And for anybody who can actually see the thumbnail, that happens to be me. You're welcome. And so let's say hello to all our people. So Sweet Pea said hi. Rack and Taurus say hello, hello.
Why?
Because you're back there giggling and making all the sounds.
Hello.
So it has been a hot minute since we went naughty. And, every now and then you got to let your hair loose. You got to relax. And it's not quite the dog days of summer. It's not at the height of the heat, but it's steamy enough to want to get naked. So if all the grown-up sultry things, offends you, this is not the show for you because we're going to get into it. So you were saying, Raconteur? I heard.
You can't let your hair loose if you've had a Brazilian.
OMG, and that's what happens when we let you in the room. I am just saying.
Just saying.
But, that's why we keep you around, so I ain't mad at it. So, Sweet Pea, I know it has been quite a while since we went naughty. And I don't know, it's about time, don't you think? We're about due.
I mean, we've been messing a little bit with full frontal, but we have not, gone all the way, all lady, bare naked ladies, nothing. We have not really dived into all the juicy, wet sounds of, the whips and the chains and all of that. I mean, we just have not done it. And I've missed it. I've missed the dungeon, the rules, everything. It's just been so long that my mouth is dry. It needs to be dripping wet with that gorgeous saliva and just that anticipation. It just, everything needs to be wet and silky, and we haven't been like that in a while. So I'm very excited to come.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. It's funny because when I think Midnight Confessions, I think those little private moments, those intimate, I'll do anything for you kind of moments. It is, pre-dungeon, not dirty dungeon. To me, that's just that's full down and dirty, and I'm not opposed to it. And we welcome all the things. We accept all the things. I'm just saying. And for those who don't know, the poetry that we read tonight, we pull from our group on All Poetry, which is free to join. And you click on there and look for Pretty Sweet Distractions, just like you are listening to us right now. So if you want to join us in the future, if you want to read with us online, that is how you get that done. Oh, my goodness. So I am noticing that our X is not Xing.
Oh, no.
So this needs to be fixed.
Yes, it does. We can't not X.
Oh, never mind. It's Xing. It's just not communicating with us, so we're good. I mean, if we're talking about Midnight Confessions, we need all the X's. I am just saying.
All the X's.
I
Oh my,
want nothing to do with my ex.
well, nobody
Yeah,
correct. So I'm just saying. I've heard the stories.
we've all heard the stories.
Okay, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so I've got kids because it is what it is. We have, most of us have kids, and okay, so I'm just going to stick it all out there. So we used to do a full private naughty show. Now this is not a video, anything. Don't get your hopes up. It was just we would, talk about all the things, like the details of all the things, the hows, the whys, the wonderful poetry of the things that most people don't want to share out in the open. Me and Sweet Pea, we tend to, live in the land of TMI. You have been warned. And so my kids, I talk loud, and I don't care if I'm in my little studio. I don't care if I'm back in the room. I don't care where I am. You can hear me. And they're like, what the heck are you talking about? I'm like, it's the naughty show. We're talking about all the naughty things. And about a week ago, my youngest was like, yeah, my friend who may or may not have a slight little crush on me, was all like, so when's the next naughty show? I don't know, just listen to them all, you'll find it. And I neglected to tell them that tonight was a naughty show. And my kid had the nerve, my youngest now had the nerve to be like, can what do I have to do to get banned? I was like, tell them that you're my kid, because they don't know my name and you're on there with your full name. And he's like, so I can do all the other things? I was like, I live with you, right? So I don't know what kind of heckling he was planning to do, but I don't think he is prepared for a grown-up mama. I am just saying. But yeah, so they don't know. So I just figured I would share that little story because it just popped into my brain that all the little friends are like, so when's the next naughty show? Because for the most part, our naughty shows were not open to the public because they were, all the things. We have dungeon rules. We have all of the things. We also have no shame. But this is going to be sultry, maybe with a little visit to the dungeon, perhaps. But it is. We're going to start, perhaps, which I actually have that poem today with perhaps with a capital T. So I'm a little excited to start reading all the things. I want to start with Titus because Titus is amazing.
Yeah,
and what'd you say?
I said the delicious Titus.
Yes. Oh, you have no idea. I actually, I don't usually pre-read anything, but he needed a reader. So I scanned it. I'm like, oh my, okay. Because here's the thing, Titus, because I know you're out there. I've got my 3 sexy favorites from that I have read from you. Now you have a lot of love and desire and passion and all of the emotions in your writing because you cover all the things. But there are 3 in particular that I absolutely love. I love A Whispering Titus. That is not the title, but that's the one where you whisper. And I swear to you, it is absolutely the best thing ever in a headset at night because it's like you're whispering in my ear. I said nothing. And then it's the first one that I was so embarrassed when we played it because I was like, oh no, I'm going to say the bad things because it's the yes, it is the one that starts the night was spent and I'm like, that sounds like a good night to me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's just everywhere. And that's when the first time you were like, correct. And I was just like, oh my, Titus is naughty. And so I absolutely eat that up. And then we happened upon the Ballad of Burning Need, which is all of the things, which, by the way, if you don't mind and we have time, I would love to read that at the end. So just, let me know in the comments if you're okay with that, because that is all the things. So I love me some Titus. I do. I am not biased. Leave me alone. But I do. He writes exceptionally well. So I have him on the board. I think I have him on the board. I have him in the chat. Do I have him on the board? Yes. Okay. And it's only
Don't put
11
him in the
minutes in. I
gimp
usually
suit.
talk for, what is it, Rack?
I said, just don't put him in the gimp suit.
OMG. I am saying nothing about nothing. Oh, and it's our shoes. Oh. I did not, that's new. I'm a little excited. Okay. I have to calm myself down. Okay, this is the Velvet Wickedness of Her by Titus Llewellyn. Here goes. I am preparing myself. She knew what buttons begged beneath her hand and let one slip, then laughed to see me stare. Her dress held secrets badly all night long. Each step confessed the heat it tried to hide. She leaned in so near, her breath undid my thoughts. Her wicked mouth was wet with half a dare. She whispered things no saint should overhear, then bit her lip as if to keep them in. Her thigh brushed mine beneath the little table, and every nerve stood up like startled fire. She made good manners sweat behind their mask, then asked me why my voice had lost its way. That was her sport, to make restraint kneel down and leave desire grinning in the dark. She liked the rain because it made things cling, because it drew her shape in shining lines. Her blouse turned honest, wickedly alive, and hid so little that the night went still. She raised her arms and let the storm admire the warm, bold curve that moved beneath the cloth. Her laughter slipped between the thunderclaps as if the sky had touched her where she pleased. She looked at me and knew I understood, but that modesty had fled without its shoes. No tame girl smiled so slowly in the rain. No proper thought survived her dripping hair. She made the weather feel like stolen hands, and every drop seemed eager for his skin. She had that shameless sweetness in her walk, the kind that makes a room forget its prayer. Her hips spoke first, then let her silence smile. Her eyes said, "Follow if you think you dare." She wore temptation low upon her mouth and let her tongue move softly on her teeth. She was not crude. She was a velvet sin, a naughty little flame with polished nails. She let desire gather round her ankles, then stepped through it as if it were perfume. I watched restraint fall helpless from my hands, while she enjoyed the ruin she had made, for wickedness looked innocent on her, and lust seemed almost holy, with a maybe. End poem. So I want to be her. I'm just putting that out there. I want to be seen like that because I am in awe of the rain and the weather and that lip. I may have that lip. I am just saying. I have been told I have a naughty lip. If I have, okay, so here's some more TMI because apparently that's all I'm going to do tonight. There was a point in the festivities where my brown eyes go black, my bottom lip drops in the most naughty way that I never realized until somebody pointed it out to me, and I just look hungry. And I'm just like, oh, all right then. Apparently, when I want to do the damn thing, everybody knows. I had no freaking clue that I wore it so blatantly that way, but I want to be that lip. you know where is that line? Where is that line? uh let's see, she looked at me and I and knew I understood that modesty had fled without its shoes. Yeah, well, you know what, things are better barefoot. I'm just saying. No tame
Oh,
girl smiled so slowly in the rain. I love this. Where is that lip that hung low? I know I read it somewhere. Oh, she wore temptation low upon her mouth. Yes, sir. But up here, see, this is why we love us some Titus, because he is amazing. This is as sultry can be. Let's see. She made good manners sweat behind their mask. And that's the thing, because we don't need the whole restaurant or wherever the heck we are to know our business. And it's really, really hard. Well, to deny when it's really, really hard, I'm just saying. But even before then, when your heat is elevated and you flush a little bit and your skin gets warm and you think everybody knows and everybody can see it. And it's really hard to keep that in, because what you really want to do is just taste some flesh. But you can't really be in polite society tasting all the people. I am just saying. Her blouse turned honest, wickedly alive. Okay, so as a kid, not that that has anything to do with anything, me and my sister used to love to run out in the rain, only like once or twice a year, because it's Florida and it rains every freaking day in the summer, in between the 100 and whatever degree temperature. And we would go out there because we would be so hot. But the favorite thing was like peeling the clothes away from our body like a banana, because they would hold air until they clung again. That was like the whole joy of being in the rain. And because I haven't done that as an adult, I kind of really loved the idea of that feeling, all wickedly alive, because I have never used that to my advantage, because I'm like, my hair, because that's what happens when you grow up and your hair is all curly and frizzes out in the rain. And so it makes me wish for a storm, because one, I love stormy weather, and it calms me because I'm a freak of nature. But I love this. I absolutely love this. It is absolutely beautiful. There is one line somewhere and I can't find it, and it's driving me a little bit. Oh, no, that was the one I said. Wicked. Da, da, da. I can't find it, but her dress held secrets badly. The way you turn a phrase is delectable. She had that shameless sweetness in her walk. Where is that? I'm gonna sit there and
reread it.
yes, and come back with the line that I can't pull to the front of my mind. This should be read to someone by candlelight, half naked. I am just saying. And my kid just walked in to give me a cookie, so chocolate. Oh, chocolate, excuse me. As I'm like, half naked. They know who I am, it's fine. And I am almost like falling over myself, because every piece of this feels like foreplay. I mean, it feels like a lead in. It feels like a moment that leads into another moment that leads into another moment. And then before you know it, the night is spent. I am just saying. And it is beautiful. And I love how it is. Where's the one where it says that it's not crude? She was not crude. She was a velvet sin. And I love that, because here's the thing. Sexiness has nothing to do with beauty, which is, unfortunate for animal magnetism, because I am very much a sapiosexual. I need to be able to have some kind of intelligent conversation with people. I'm just saying, a big brain is paramount. But when you are pulled in that way, it has nothing to do with anything other than, I'm not pulling that, at least not yet. And it has nothing to do with how they look, or not a whole lot to do with how they look. It's how they make you feel. It's what happens to you when they look at you. It's when they look at you like they're hungry and your body responds outside of your control. It's when it's like, oh, am I a whole snack tonight? Okay, I see. And then your face
Mhm.
flushes, and you can't get your mind out of the possibilities. And they don't necessarily have to be full in what you think is going to happen or what you want to happen. It's just the possibilities in the air. The way somebody looks at you when desire shifts, the way your body responds to that shift, and the way it plays on each other. And if you've got a playful nature, and you're
Mhm.
with a
Mhm.
quiet guy. Okay, I like them a little quiet. I like them a little shy. I love them if they blush. And that is my happy place. Where
Oh,
it's the only reason I'm married, and that is my happy place, because once they blush, the once that is open, it doesn't take a lot to make them blush. A look, a smirk, you run your finger down your collar, especially if it's a little bit low, and their eyes follow and they see that, and then they blush. It's these little things that pull responses out of people before you say anything, before you do anything, before even the good night kiss, or the precursor to all the things. And that is a joyful place. It is a steamy place. It is all of the anticipation. And if you do that right, everything else is elevated. You know, there's something to be said. And I know that people think that the reading of a body is all the things. Well, I mean, it's a lot of the things, okay, but it's not all the things. Because if there's no anticipation, the anticipation comes before anybody touches anything, then it's
Mhm.
listen, if y'all do anticipation right, most of the work is done. You'll have a much easier job. I am just saying. So, Sweet Pea, your thoughts?
oh, my. I'm going to go to the last stanza. A naughty little flame. I love that, with polished nails. Mm. I watched restraint fall helpless from my hands while she enjoyed the ruin she had made. Or, I love that. And I love depth through perfume. That was lovely too. While she enjoyed the ruin she had made, for wickedness looked innocent on her. Isn't that the way it always happens? And lust seemed almost holy, with a maybe. Well, I'll tell you what, that is the best description of a wild woman gone holy for the night. Um, or, as I like to call them, imp angels, the devil and the angel in your hand. So I think this is a perfect poem. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's everything every woman wants to be viewed as. I mean, there's nothing in here, not a piece of imagery, not a piece of metaphor, not anything that just doesn't make you want to just fall into somebody's arms like that. It's stunning. It's gorgeous. It's, her laughter slipped between the thunderclaps. I think this is almost actually it's perfection. Write me a love letter like this, and I'm following you around like a puppy dog. Raconteur, your thoughts?
I'll go get the kibble. I just I really there's a way to describe something, a moment that you capture, that almost involves not being in that moment the way that you are in that moment in your words, there's a certain skill to that you beautifully exhibit. It's, to me, talking about it the way that you talk about it, and not give in to those emotions, and kind of take it over the top. it's not an easy thing. There's a subtlety involved to it. There's a um pardon the an innuendo, whichever endo you want it to be in. It's just it's fantastic in so many ways. And I mean, for someone like me, the other thing that I appreciate too is and you refrain from doing it, but you use the word restraint, and I think that could have been a double-edged sword if you had used it a little different. Well, I know it could have been, but the fact that you didn't, it's enough with your use of language that you don't have to be so heavy-handed and talk about restraint in that manner, that you mention it, and people, like, they know your use of words, being a wordsmith, and they know that you're capable of it, that you're guilty of it without even saying it. So it's one of those things that you don't have to even say it to be guilty of it. And again, that also makes it very beautiful to me. The whole situation, again, there's a nuance to it. It's a dance, and again, the language is paramount, and you use it so wonderfully. There's no mistaking what you're talking about, but at the same time, you're not using any words that are, over the top, or untoward, inappropriate even.
I mean, are any words over the top? I
You know,
mean, I'm just saying.
and, yeah, it's beautifully done. That's the only thing I could really say. Beautifully done.
It really is. And I like that line. That was her sport to make restraint kneel down. I mean, not for nothing. That sounds just like me. I mean, I dance that line, as everybody who has ever listened to any of our shows knows very well, because it's not like I hide it. That's my happy place. That is my happy place. That line right there. And but it's and the original line that I was thinking of was that for wickedness like innocent on her. There's something to be said for those of us who can still have an air of innocence and still be full naughty at the same time, because there is a difference between being naturally sexy in who you are and trying to be sexy. And it's not about clothes, and it's not about anything. It is their essence, and that's where that lives, and I find that to be amazing. But this no proper thought survived her dripping hair. Okay, so I have long hair, long curly black hair. And when I was in my early 20s, it was way down my back. Okay. I was an idiot, and I had no idea what my hair could do. So it was curly all the way down past my waist that landed on the swell of my butt, curly. When it was wet, it went to unfortunate places. It was not okay. But um I was standing on the beach with my I mean, we can call him a boyfriend, whatever. And we were standing on the beach. I had met him there after work, and we were, because he worked, like, I could see his building from I grew up in a beach town, whatever. And I'm just sitting there going, it is windy. I was like, I need to turn around, because my hair was clipped up in the front and all down. And so I physically had to take him by the shoulders and turn our conversation 180 degrees so that the wind would be blowing me in the face, so my hair wasn't smearing my lipstick. And when I turned around like that, it caught the full length of my hair and held it just in the wind for a good minute. And I was so self-conscious, because in that moment, what his jaw dropped, and everybody that was behind him stared at me. Everybody. And Fort Lauderdale is known to have a lot of people on the beach. And I was so self-conscious, it's not even funny. And he's like, can you just take your hair down? I was like, can you unclip your hair? I was like, in this wind? And he's like, please. And so I took the barrette out of the top of my hair, and it just went full flag. And seriously, I've never been stared at so much in my life. I was so uncomfortable. But in this, no proper thought survived her dripping hair. I wish that I had a clue that that was a thing. Because when I was young, I didn't. I literally just thought people were looking at me. There's something in my teeth. I was like a freak of nature. Had no clue what the hell I looked like, and it kept me innocent. I'm just saying. But I love that line. I love the line that because most people when you're all wet and whatever don't feel sexy. But I've always liked wet hair.
Drowned rat.
Yeah, exactly. But I've always liked wet hair, and I've always liked there's something about how and I'm talking not so much rain, but beach and pool and all the things when you get out of there and you're soaking wet, and there's something about especially curly hair because it doesn't just go down your back, it kind of trickles like rain, and it catches light. It's like if you're swimming at night, which if you've never been to a beach at night, everything feels like sharks and jellyfish. I'm just warning you. And it's just seaweed, but it feels like sharks and jellyfish. Yeah, that's what I get for watching Jaws when I was 6, whatever. But it glistens like glitter, like diamonds in the moonlight or the street lights, and it just kind of drips inside of itself. And then when you want to follow that as it falls off the hair and down the curves, it is a very beautiful thing. And I never had a reason to verbalize that. It's just kind of like when you are watching the horizon at night and there's a full moon and every little chop of the waves looks like glitter. That's what that looks like to me. And it's such no proper thought survived her dripping hair. And it never occurred to me until reading that line that it could incite sultriness, that somebody would watch those driplets, those little droplets fall off the hair and down the curve into whatever crevice it's going to be in, and find that to be beautiful. I love this poem. I absolutely love this poem. I do. And I'm just going to pretend it's about me. So there's that. So I'm not stealing shit. It's fine. So I am going to read one of mine. And not that any of us can go after that. I'm just lost in your words, Titus. I'm just saying. So I am going to put up sated satin philharmonic. I think is the name of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I'm putting up. I pulled 3 of them, but I figured I'll just go in whatever order I put them on there. Okay, I know I just read, but it wasn't mine. I was privileged and honored to have read Titus. So now this is me. I am not as delicate. I am just saying. So this is Sated Satin Philharmonic by me, Pretty Bird. And it goes like this. I tease my tongue down the curve of your neck. Your audible exhale feeds my fervor, but not quite as much as your tremble burnishes my flesh. Shh, my darling, tonight I play a symphony on your body, carving each note on your soul. Nails graze, then drag across tightened skin in brass trills, each pass more deliberate than the last. Staccato breaths in time with goosebumps stoke smoldering timpanis of anticipation. Your body raises to meet my swollen lips, only to find the slightest brush of skin, a passing warmth in punctuated moans. Wide eyes taking in each painfully slow movement. You watch, and I watch you watch, plucking a double bass backbeat of new sensation, fire and ice in soft satin shackles, a song in whimpering woodwinds, pleading through guttural, low brass crescendos, fighting the urge to end the movement, knowing it isn't you conducting the orchestra. Your muscles, too weak to tense, untethered, you curl into my arms. Shh, my darling, while I serenade your dreams. End poem.
Be very quiet so we don't wake him up. God damn. Oh, no, this is an orchestra. This is your opus, baby, and you know how to write it. I'm telling you what. Oh, this is just, ooh, this is a dream, plucking a double brass beat of new sensation, fire and ice and soft satin shackles. Oh, being there, loving that, tremble burnishes my flesh. Shh, my darling, don't say a word. God knows what that punishment would be like. Your body raises to meet my swollen lips, only find the slightest brush of skin. Ah, and punctuated moans. I mean, I love how precise everything is going, just precise, punctuated moans. You watch and I watch you watch. Ah, that's just tantalizing. Oh, and please, your guttural, low brass Cassandra's. I can just, kind of hear that deep sound of, pleasure and that kind of roar. And, oh, you're not conducting this orchestra. Behave. Oh, you untether, you curl into my arms. While I serenade your dreams, because that's all he's going to be able to do. Just cuddle up and just think about everything that was just done to him with a smile on his face and go to sleep. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's just gorgeous. Um, but my favorite of all of it is definitely the where did it go? The soft satin shackles. There's just something about that. It's so like, how can shackles be soft and satin? Hmm. Yeah.
I
Behave or
can
go no
answer
more
that
food.
for you.
I'm just thinking if he doesn't behave, they're not going to be soft and satin. That's my whole thought. It's like, aren't you lucky that's where you have right now? Because if you start to not behave, they might not be so soft and satin. Because I know pretty bird.
Oh, it's not about the tethering, it's all the other things.
And that's so true. And Rag, your thoughts?
So first, I have to apologize. Opus will always be a fat penguin. Thank you, Burke Breathied.
I loved
Um,
that penguin.
Oh my
that
God.
strip was amazing. Yeah, I lived in comic book world when I was younger. Setting that aside, there's a beauty in the symphony that you write, and a tenderness that it take there's an almost an implied edge sometimes when it comes to you write about, and they're very soft and gentle and just nurturing and beautiful, and not even that's out of character for you or anything like that. It's just it's a shift. It's like you mentioned about your eyes. They go black. So this is a different emotion that comes over you sometimes, and you paint it beautifully. It makes us want to be your canvas.
I mean, I like painting. I'm just saying. So I've got Racket Tour on the board. His full poem is on the board on All Poetry because his link is a little busted, but I've got the audio. So we are going to listen. We're going to listen here in a hot minute, except for it looks like it wants to be playing some other crap. Oh, it never stopped playing our porn music at the beginning of the show. It's just quiet. That's interesting. All right, here we go. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Moans by Rack Game of Moans by Raconteur. Let me open your eyes. Reach out and take my hand. We'll uncover our hidden desires, exploring things we don't yet understand. We can set the mood by lighting a few candles. Dripping hot wax can be used when we play. Maybe a few drinks to loosen our inhibitions, and then undress each other to get things underway. The toy box holds all sorts of possibilities. For anal play, we'll definitely need some lube. We can flip for who gets the beads and who uses the butt plug. Just make sure there's still plenty of grease in the tube. And while you're at it, check the batteries in the vibrator. We can't have it suddenly stop running, because once we get started, I promise not to rest until after your second coming. And poem.
Only two? Don't sell yourself short. You can do better than that. I'm just saying. I highly recommend silicone lube for anybody listening. I'm just saying. But oh yeah, you're like, well, that one's gonna be naughty. I was like, is it really? Is it? But yes, it is. Because here's the thing. There's something about figuring things out with somebody. If you guys share first experiences in any realm of self-discovery and sexual exploration, I kind of love that. I mean, it's nice to be led into things that somebody knows what's up and somebody doesn't. It's nice to teach somebody new things. It's all of that is nice. There's something kind of special, and fun and exciting and a little scary about doing it all together for the first time. There's nerves, and hence the let me loosen up the inhibitions. Because I'm very much a tit for tat kind of girl. Again, TMI, you have been warned. If somebody's gonna be like, hey, you want to do this? I'm like, you first. And I'm okay with that, because the body works how the body works. Pleasure centers are pleasure centers. What the guys got, the girls got, it may look different, but all the nerve endings are still in the same spot. Now, because of that, I love this. I love that that you have a toy box. I may have a toy chest, but that's neither here nor there. We're not counting gear. It's fine. I know so many people. There have been probably more than my fair share of people in real life, friends of mine, that I have shared their first experiences in a toy store. I'm like, what? You don't have one? You've never been? You're older than I am. Let's go. I was like, I don't care what you have plans. We're going. And
Oh God.
so we have all the conversations, we do all the things. I was like, listen, there's nothing wrong with it. Use it together, use it by yourself. That it's perfectly normal to, it really is.
I have to
Go ahead.
interject. You've got
Uh-huh.
both the box and the chest.
I mean, this is true.
Saying.
And they are awfully fun. But I was surprised, and it never ceases to amaze me how many people are like, oh no, I could never. Why the hell not? And I get if they're all in seedy parts of town. They aren't all in seedy parts of town, and everything's online now, so no excuses. But there was this one couple I was friends with where she was all like, and it was funny because we double teamed her. I know how that sounds. But me and my other friend were like, oh no, we're going to teach you all the things. Let's go. And she's like, yeah, but my husband, who we were also friends with, he's going to be intimidated. I was like, does he want you to be happy? Yes, then he can also use it on you. This is not because he can't get the job done. This is, it's a learning tool, because if he learns how to use that, he can learn how to read your body, and then all the sex is better. I'm just saying. He's like, but he might be intimidated. So get a little one. You don't have to get a giant full-size king dong, which is actually a name of a thing, and it's a little scary. I'm just saying. And you don't have to go for anything that is more than what they are. They have these little tiny bullet ones. They have these ones the size of whatever it is.
Mother's little helper.
There's something. Except for those little strap-on butterfly-shaped useless nonsense, I don't have the patience for that nonsense unless yeah, how do I say this without insulting people? Well, I'm going to insult some people. Listen, if you're all poochy and closed up, it's not for you. If things happen to be out there and easy access, I'm sure it works fine. I'm just saying. I do not recommend. But I kind of love that. I do. I love the candles. I mean, you may not want to start with wax, on your tender bits of anything because it's hotter than you think it is. So start on thicker skin. These are just, you know, life lessons, life lessons. And there's nothing wrong with that. A little fire, a little ice, a little hot, a little cold. I mean, they sell glass supplies that when they are just dip them suckers in ice, the sensation between that coldness and the heat of you does something. It does, just like crush up some. This is not a how to do things. The hell am I talking about? Sweet Pea, I'm going to shut up now. Take it away.
I have a friend that makes glass things, hand blows them and everything. They're very, very cool.
And there I
It's
thought
just
it
one
was
more
either
thing to
hand or
blow.
blow.
Well, he hand blows all of those nice little things. Yeah, very great little online thing, and they're gorgeous. Just so that you know.
I got
It
asked
has
to make a flogger when somebody realized, actually, they read my poem about hand stitching leather goods that I read last week or the week before. And it's when I first wrote it. And they're like, do you really work with leather? I was like, do you think I work with leather? It's like, it sounds like you work with leather. I was like, okay. It's like, well, listen, um, can you make me a flogger? I was like, do you know the amount of tying and lacing and yada, yada, blah, blah, blah that entails? And he's like, yeah, I'll give you $200. And I'm just like, I don't know you. I was
No,
like,
you.
what did you read that you think I'm going to make you a flogger? I was like, listen, I could recommend somebody. How's that? But yeah, so interesting things, interesting propositions I get. So take it away, sweet.
Um, I like that he's got all of these, steps and ready, and the communication. Because you gotta trust. You gotta trust who you're getting into bed with. I mean, so I love that. Let me open your eyes. Reach out and take my hand. We'll uncover it all together. It's not a, hey, come into my bed and let me flip you over, and this is what I'm gonna. So I love all of that and the possibilities, and we can't have it suddenly stop running. Because once we get started, we don't want to figure all this out. We don't want to be fumbling. We want this to be a smooth ride. So, very organized, very communicative, very hot, very sexy. Let's just go. We've got all night. We're not going to stop. We've got everything in front of us to include the few drinks. So, I like how organized Rack is. He's got everything planned.
He does. I put the wrong poem up because I thought it was yours. So give me a hot minute.
Oh, okay. We've got a couple more to put
access
up.
for
I'm just running behind.
organization.
No, it's just that she put them up for felon, and I thought there was only one for felon, but there was two, so I clicked on the wrong thing. My bad.
Um,
I'm a little
I,
excited. Can't wait for her to call in.
yeah, me too. Hopefully she does.
Okay. So there you go for the sweet pea.
EP.
But before you start reading, I just wanted to add on to what you said about trust. Here's the thing. Trust is earned. And while new is fun, you have to make sure that you guys are in the same place for the same stuff because these are very vulnerable things. So it builds trust. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So if there's any coercion, if you feel like if you just say yes because they're badgering you, that's not okay. That's not trust. That's bullying, you know? So just make sure you feel safe, and you could always just tease them until next time. I'm just saying. Okay, go ahead. I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that they don't have to do anything they don't want to do.
This is called whitewash. White sheer baby doll gown with red leather bow. cinnamon curls falling softly down, taken to the room by a gentle hand, silent in obedience in the bravado of his command. Castles slap purity, the sound of sin begins as pink skin rises to ignite the flames of hell. Wax drips excitement in hidden places where mouth seeks the fire in the heat, cooling their tongues in the wetness of their desires. Bound by perversion, chained to the wall, alligator clips swollen lips, demanding shaking legs to stand. My lips open, he still chokes me, stretches me so wide. Please, your master, he commands, as he whitewashes the flesh he may be. And
So what's with all the wax, you guys? I kind of love how it starts all sweet with with your curls and your baby doll and the stockings, and baby doll being the nightie, not an actual doll. And for anybody who is listening and not reading, um, but the ew, and I kind of love that the wax is dripping in hidden places, and well, you say bound by perversion, chained to the wall. I have such a wide berth and normal that I'm just like, that's the fun zone. It's like, here's the thing. This is exactly what trust looks like. You do not relinquish, you do not submit to somebody you don't trust, because who knows what the hell they're going to do, especially if you're going to be bound in any kind of way, because you have to trust that they're not going to take your most vulnerable spread eagle everything and put it on the internet. So it takes a lot, and you have to feel safe enough that they understand that you're running the show, because it's always the one who's submissive who's actually in control, for those who don't know, because I think that we're going to just be like, ooh, people are going to be like, what's that? And I'm like, and so my lips open, he still chokes me, and here is the thing. I don't care what pair of lips it is and what he's choking in the hole. I am there for that, and I don't care if it's a gentle squeeze, but if it's stretching so wide, it's being choked with something, and I kind of love that because it doesn't matter where you are on the body. These lips, those lips, full is full. It is what it is. This is stretching, that is stretching. And here's the thing, because if you've got the clips and the swollen lips and there is pink skin, to me, spankings usually start where spankings usually start. And if it's being whitewashed, I mean, it's a lot to go from the top hole to the landing zone. It's easier to go from the bottom hole to the landing zone. I am just saying, with the choking. And so this brings all the visual possibilities. Okay, so maybe it's just me, but it brings all the visual possibilities. And I'm a waste not, want not kind of gal. So I'm not big on landing zones because I'm lazy, and the cleanup is a pain in the ass because that shit sticks to everything. But I I love the idea of this. I love the from being led to the room gently. You take us through the whole entire plethora of sensation, from the tassels and the semblance of purity before the sin, from the rising pink skin and the flames of hell. I mean, all you need is a little genuflection and you're there. I love that it goes through all of the things, and it ends how it ends, because here's the thing. unless you're me, because I don't mind leaving somebody a little blue every now and then. You know, they deserve what they deserve. But if people go through the motions or want to fake their way through things because they don't want to make people feel bad, they're really limiting their own pleasure, because no one's going to know they're not doing the job if you make them think that they're doing the job. So I love that this is honest in all of the sensation, in all of the pleasure, and all the whitewashed climax, because so many people are just like, well, I just want to get it over with. I was like, then you're doing it wrong. You know, I mean, there's one thing to be said for not wanting, a UTI because somebody took too much Viagra, and next thing you know, he's, doing the thing for 2 hours. Your girl needs a break, a little break in between, and then have at it again, whatever. But outside of that, it is every one of us, male, female, it is our job to teach the people how to pleasure us if we want them to pleasure us. People know the basics. We'll just assume that people know, tab A, slop B, this is how things are supposed to work. But every one of us is intrinsically different. We don't all like the same things. We don't all respond to the same things. Women are particularly um, uh, less visual than men and a lot more emotional or um, psychological in their physical responses to things. So they have to feel a certain way. Even if they want to have all the gorilla sex they want to have, they still have to feel some kind of way, whether that's they have to feel in control, whether they have to feel this, that, or the other thing. And we have to learn our partners. It is our job to please them. And hopefully it's their job to please us. But now that can't happen if we're not having the open communication, if we're not doing something to let them know this is good and this is not. You don't have to be like, yeah, no, that's not it, but you can be a little to the left, because I don't know anybody in the middle of trying to do stuff that is not open to a little bit of guidance, because everybody feels better when everybody feels better. You know what I mean? So that is the end of my lecture. So Rack and Tour, what are your thoughts about the whitewash?
First, you mentioned the UTI, and my mind went right to the candy cane
Of
and that
course it did.
incident. That incident so long ago. But the other thing, um, helpful stock tips in investing in Yankee Candle if people are listening, because apparently it's a trend, and it's not limited to New Jersey. It goes all the way to Colorado. I don't know. The idea of this though, it's a beautiful evening. And the nature of it, the idea of it is very personal, very oh, I said intimate, didn't I? I guess I can't say that enough tonight. But yeah, you know, you're talking about before, Pretty Bird was mentioning the stretching of the holes. My mind is going, well, they don't have to be mutually exclusive. You could be stretching both, but that I guess is a little more contortionist than anything. And this wasn't about that. This was about, enjoying the moment, not straining the moment. So, it was it was easy to kind of want to be in that place and imagine being the one with the alligator clip. So it was a lovely evening, a lovely thought.
Thank you.
I'm going to try to get them to shut my dog up before I read, because she has no manners, that bulldog.
Announcements.
I mean, we can do that. So, Sweet Pea, what's coming up on Thursday?
What is coming up on Thursday? What's coming up on
Me.
Thursday? Oh, it is poetry at 3 a.m. That is what's coming up on Thursday. Get to where I'm supposed to be. Let's see. Pretty Sweet Distractions where I'm supposed to be, and that's not what I just clicked. I put realmed in the dark. So that's not going to help us. Pam should be where Pam should be. Sorry, everybody.
Want me to read it?
Yes, please. 'Cause I don't want to be rambling like a moron.
At 3 a.m., when yesterday is over and today is still asleep, in the tired quiet, words bleed to paper born in unfiltered emotion. We explore the freedom of words that come forth in the darkness before dawn. So, that is all the things when the world is asleep and your mind is too tired to be inhibited. And that's when the real emotion comes through on paper. So, that's going to be a fun night of interesting and delightful rites. That's coming up on Thursday. And then on Tuesday, if my mouse would work, Tuesday the 9th is a complete sentence, though it may not always be the kindest option. No means no. It doesn't mean ask later or ask again in a different way. If you ask me if I want something from the store and I say no, let it stand. If you ask me if you look fat and I say no, let it stand. While there may be an exception to every rule, no is a complete sentence. I'm just going to say, personally, no, thank you is nicer, but no is no. And it's funny because I will answer yes or no questions with a yes or no, and people think that I'm rude or that I'm mad at them and all this stuff. But then don't ask me a yes or no question. Ask me an open-ended question, you know? So I'm just saying. So while it doesn't have to be all, no means no outright, it can be, but no is a complete sentence. So don't get all pissed off if somebody says that word to you. And next Thursday, sweet.
Is Who You Calling Old? We're going to take a little fun aim at some stereotypes about aging and kind of knock them flat. Age is, of course, more than a number, and it's a mindset. Some people refuse to fade out, slow down, or play the role. And society, or the role society assigns them. I can speak. I do have a mouth. Old is good Lord. Old doesn't mean irrelevant. So we're going to poke fun at some of the stereotypes and have a good time with that one. And that is coming up on 6/11.
Oh, and I am a giant a-hole because I labeled that one 6'9". That is not 6'9". 6'9". Next Tuesday is shut your pie hole. Everybody talks like they know what's best. It's easy to judge others after the fact. Sometimes we have to know when to keep it to yourself. Just shut your pie hole. No is a complete sentence is the following Tuesday. My bad. I marked that completely wrong.
Oh, okay.
But that is completely on me. Remind me to fix that tomorrow because I ain't doing it now. So okay. I am on the board. Are y'all ready?
He's all ready.
This is Perhaps with a capital T. By me, Pretty Bird. And it goes like this. Good Lord, you're troubled today, ain't you? He said with a grin I could feel. Wink that wink and tip your hat. Kill me with that damn smile. But baby, you have no idea what trouble could be. Take my hand. I'll let you lead. But hold me close and my tongue will linger on your quickening pulse. Teeth pulling skin enough to taste your heat. Skin on skin, electric fingertips. I am hungry. Feed me all of you and taste me each time you lick your lips. Close your eyes and find me. You can call me trouble if you want to. Tease me close enough to the truth and I won't let go until I know how good I taste on you. Yeah, some things are worth the trouble. And poem.
Oh, baby, if you're not worth the trouble, I don't know who is. You write sensual so well is one thing. I mean, we'll just give you that. You're a sensual, hot, everything you say, but it's also how you talk, how you read your sensual. It even makes me sweat. It makes me just go, oh, she's talking, and I melt. I don't know. Well, I'm sure you've been heard. I mean, I know you've heard 1,000 times that the way you read can literally make the Pope sweat. Just so that you know. And this is another with, capital T. Feed me, all of you, and taste me each time you lick your lips. Close your eyes and find me. Holy hell. Is that not I mean, just lick your lips and reminisce because you know I'm still on your lips, baby. You ain't even thought about wiping me away. I mean, it's just, oh, oh, oh. You know, some things are worth the trouble, and I know quite a few people that believe you are worth the trouble. But yeah, wink, wink, and tip your hat. Kill me with that damn smile. But baby, you have no idea what trouble can be. But yeah, just by the sound of your voice, people want to get in trouble with you. And Tori, your thoughts.
Trouble with a capital T, huh? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I, I, I don't know that I've heard this one before, but I enjoyed the story. Um, I can imagine the party you were at when it occurred. It's just, yeah. And you know, you talk about, you know, you were oblivious when you were younger to you know the effect that you had, and this kind of speaks a little to that. But you know, it's that realization that coming of not so much coming of age, but uh coming to uh understand um uh the power that you can that you hold sometimes, when you're willing to you know when you're able to, I should say, to read into a situation and play it to your advantage. So yeah, this is lovely,
Thank you.
Miss Trouble.
Well, here's the thing. So apparently I was a flirty mess. And because when I okay, so I get giddy. All right. So again with the TMI bullshit. Here it is. If I'm happy, I giggle. I giggle a lot. I also giggle for other reasons, but I giggle. And um and if somebody is a little flushed or falls all over himself a little bit, I also giggle. And I get all excited, and so I am slightly relentless, but because I giggle, it sounds very innocent, especially when it's really dirty. And I don't do that on purpose. It's not an affectation, it's just kind of how that plays out. And so I was on the phone with this long, low drawl, delightful voice. And and they said exactly that. They were very much, good Lord, you're trouble today, ain't you? But with that very deep growl in that southern drawl. And I was like, oh, that was nice. I was like, and so then words were born. And it's very much that simple. It does not take a lot to ignite a spark. And it doesn't take a whole lot to stoke the embers. It's I mean, they call it chemistry for a reason because everything is really reactionary, you know? But it's when it starts a little soft, like Titus with the rain and the the masked politeness or whatever that was, the masked manners and all of the things. That's exactly how beautiful that is. And we tend to overlook it. We tend to want to jump to the end. We tend to see where things are going and want to rush our way through it. And I think that's the difference between being young minded and having lived enough to know there's a better way. Some things you don't want to rush. You want to bask in those moments and you want to build that up accidentally on purpose, either or both, whatever. Because it feels good. It feels good and it doesn't need the physical to grow, even if it grows into the physical. There's just something beautiful about the interactions that elicit physical responses before the touching happens. And it's kind of where love grows, it's where passion grows, it's where affection grows. And it is a very delightful place because it's a sad, sad day when you're years into a relationship and they smile at you with that look across the room and it does nothing. because it should always do something, but it stops working if you stop paying attention to it. If you don't settle into the nuances of whoever it is that you're with, especially long term, because it's so easy to, oh yeah, don't give me that look. I ain't got time for your shit. The more you do that, the less your body's going to respond. And then you're like, well, we lost that spark. Well, pay attention to each other. Pay attention to how you respond to things when you don't expect to, and nurture that. And you have to do that for yourself. And and your partner has to do that for themselves. Even if you have to sit there and do those exercises where you're almost touching but not touching, and you focus on what it feels like to you, so that you can reignite that, so you can remember what that feels like, so that you recognize it the next time it happens naturally. It pains me when people are together, 20, 30 years, and they're like, yeah, whatever. Or, yeah, twice on Sunday, whatever. And it's not an exciting thing. That it's more when they get home and their partner's home and they're not supposed to have been there yet. It's not yay. It's that's a problem. And you need to refocus. I am just saying, because it takes work to stay in a place that is delightful, both physically and emotionally. It's so easy to get into a rut. It's so easy to get bogged down with daily stressors and financial stressors, and oh, I put on a few pounds, and oh, well, I don't last as long as I used to, and all of the things. And I promise you, none of that matters. You're focusing on the wrong thing. And I'm going to give you more TMI. This is going to take this whole show sideways. My bad. I'm just going to apologize now. Okay. So I have an unfortunate history of unfortunate things, because sometimes life sucks. Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yes. So having said that, I thought for sure it was me. It was my fault, because all the shameful things are always my fault, or the woman's fault, or whatever. We bring it on ourselves, because for many, many years, that's what, before me too, it was, of course it was us. I'm just saying society was unkind for, millennia. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Here's the thing. My mother once told me, it doesn't matter what you look like. If they love you regardless. It doesn't matter if it changes. And I didn't believe that. And so I was just like, okay, so, well, this bullshit happened, and then it happened again. I'm like, you know what? If I gain some weight, if I'm completely unattractive, if I'm this, that, and the other thing, everybody's going to leave me the fuck alone. So no, because here's the thing. My mom was a smart woman. It doesn't matter if you are or aren't somebody's usual, and I'm finger quoting, type, because it matters how attentive you are. It matters how they feel when they're around you. It matters how you feel around them. All of these things matter. It has nothing to do with what you look like. And when people feel safe with you, it opens up doors for endeavors that they wouldn't do with other people, because that's where trust lives. And so, having said that, I don't know. I think that that's all the things, You have to nurture the good, even if you feel lost in your own bullshit, because we all feel lost in our own bullshit, and we focus on the wrong things. And it's one thing if we're just beating ourselves up over, or, my hair is gray, I'm getting wrinkles, I gained some weight. But when it affects how we see our people, if they're like, but you're beautiful, and then you call them a liar to their face by saying, no, I'm not. They're the ones looking at you. Shut up. Take it for what it is. You don't have to think you're anything. You have to trust that they do. And we always focus on the wrong parts of us and on the right parts of other people. So if they have lost their hair and they have put on a few pounds and you love them more than you ever did, why can't we believe that they will love us the same way? And so you focus on all of those little things that feel good before the touching, the way he the way he eyeballs you when you're taking the turkey out, the way he puts his hand on the small of your back when you're turning the corner in the hallway. Those really annoying texts in the middle of the day that are absolutely ridiculously stupid, but they are so perfectly them that you can't help but laugh. All of those things matter. And that's where the intimacy is. And that's where all of this stuff grows from. And I feel bad because I'm not here to lecture anybody, but yeah, I've had people after a naughty show or during naughty shows ask us, how do you know this? Or how do you get to that? Or how do you get somebody to? No, 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 no. And therein lies the problem. If you're going to ask me a question, how do I get somebody to try new things? First of all, don't try to change people. What you need to do is feel safe. What you need to do is make them feel safe in all of their emotions, make them feel safe in their body, love them as they are, and ask for what you want. Don't try to talk them into something that they don't want. And that will shift the dynamic, and it's no longer pressure. It'll feed their urge to want to please you. There is a limit. People have hard nose about things. Have the conversations before you have the sex, and then work around all of those things. And if it's something you can't live with, then walk away early. Don't get somebody involved for years if it's something you can't live with. And that's all I have to say about that. So I have Raconteur up. Do you guys have anything to say about anything that I said or anything you want to add?
No.
No, I'm just going to go off and talk like an asshole about all my shit. All right, that's fine. And so
He's not an asshole.
so I have a Raconteur on the board. And so I am going to play him. This here is Call of the Wild. Or not, because it's not bringing me to the music. Here we go.
Call of the Wild by Raconteur. Limbs entwined under a blanket of stars, two sleeping bags zipped together. Children and dogs frolic gleefully, celebrating a night of perfect weather. Campfire crackles and pops, arbitrarily scattering embers into the wind to waltz with the fireflies. The air still heavy with the scent of burnt coffee and s'mores. Luna looks on as one by one sleep transports everyone but us to the land of Morpheus. Rushing stream murmurs, accompanied by a symphony of crickets singing backup for some frogs, drowning out all thoughts of civilization. But it was the way the moonlight caught your hair and the desire reflected in your gaze that made the urge to kiss you impossible to resist. The crisp night air encouraged us to cling tightly to each other as our clothing finds its way to the bottom of our sleeping bags. Our breathing becomes the map and compass, guiding fingertips over goosebumps and mouths across hidden valleys, blazing a trail to the pinnacle of our passions. Winding the cord from the sleeping bags around your wrists, I pin your hands above your head and sink my teeth into your collarbone as I stake you out like a pup tent. Your ankles lock over my hips as your fingernails dig trenches in my back, causing our bodies to shudder to the rhythm of the call of the wild. End poem.
Well, listen to you growling. Where is it? Okay, I could have lived without the frogs. I'm just saying. Me and frogs are not friends. But, there's something about where the moonlight caught your hair and the desire reflected in your gaze that made the urge to kiss you impossible to resist. And it's those moments, those little moments in the lighting that kind of freeze frame in your memory in both image and emotion that are beautiful to reflect upon. But here's the thing. When you get down to our breathing becomes the map and the compass guiding fingertips over goosebumps, that is exactly what I was talking about learning how to read your partner. Because everybody's map and compass is going to be a little bit different. And if you notice the hair stand up on the arm, or the nipples harden, or goosebumps, or a, a change in color, or whatever it is that you're looking at the time, if you pay attention to all those little things, to the way they hold their breath or they don't hold their breath, to whether it races or goes shallow or whatever it is, they tell you everything without telling you anything. And it is a beautiful thing to be able to communicate without words. And not everybody pays attention. Everybody wants to think that if you don't sound like a porn star, you're not having the good sex. Can I just tell you? Okay, listen, some of us are loud. I have known to
Yeah.
be slightly loud, but it's not always loud and it's not always overt.
Mhm.
Lady Bird. Lady Bird. Rack.
I'm still here.
Okay,
You
we
flew the
lost.
coop.
I think maybe we lost a little bit of Pretty Bird, but that's okay. She'll be back, I'm sure. So I get to comment on your beautiful poem, which is hot and heavy in the nature of things. I love the crickets are singing to the frogs are singing back up. I think that's great. I think it just, intensifies the moments that you're there in the beautiful woods. You got Luna watching you, which is a little naughty, but the moon loves to do things. Um, I think that, it's very peaceful except for your beastly ways there, biting into collarbones and doing all the things you're doing it, but it's very passionate. I mean, the final stanza is got, some physical and emotional connection with this other person in a very raw and growly way, like you did. Um, it's like if somebody walked in on you, we're not sure if you'd be walking in on a bear or a wolverine or whatever you might be, but you've definitely got the body is shuddering and the call of the wild and angles angles. See, I can't talk tonight. Ankles locked over, hips and fingernails trenching in your back. And I really love that. I pin your hands above your head and sink my teeth in your collarbone and I'll stake you out like a pup tent. There's always you've always got that humor in there, which is, kind of hilarious. But there you go. Humor me, humor me, humor me. So that's always the happy raconteur that I know. And we can definitely move on and do some other poetry while we wait for the bird to come back. I have no great stories about camping and sex. Ha 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 ha. But what about you? Any great stories about camping and having a good time? Is this any reality
Uh,
for you?
well, camping can be intense.
It can be intense. You're not going to share, are you?
I mean, nothing specific. It's embers and dirt and
Sure.
stolen wall. The fact that
At least with camping, you don't get sand in your ass. That's all I can say. Maybe a little dirt, but no sand in your ass. Did I lose Rack now? Rack, are you out there? Oh, my goodness. Hopefully they both come back. Rack, Pretty Bird, anybody? Okay, so it's just the sweet sounds of Sweet Pea here. Well, that was excellent. I really truly enjoyed it. So here we go with that one. So I guess what we can do as I wait for my other partner there to show up is we can read something of mine since I was the next one in line. Not that I have any, you know, um, poetry that's not in line of mine, but definitely was time for me to read one of my poems. So we are going to try to do that. And we will read Over the Edge by Sweet Pea. So this is the next one I have in line for me. This is Over the Edge, and this is her cinnamon hair fell in ringlets around her dark brown eyes, and a pink leather pet collar hugged her neck. Eyes forward, she waited on her knees, with hands tied behind her back. She ached with anticipation. Minding her manners, she never shoved anything in her mouth all at once. With a delicate flick of her tongue, she licked the salted rim, focusing on folded skin. Gentle as the suckling on lollipop head, roots choke on overflow. Take it slow and swallow. So that was the last one of mine, and I believe we might have had Pretty Sweet. And Pretty Bird come back. We are Pretty Sweet, me and her both. So I'm hoping Pretty Bird's back. Maybe. Maybe not. Well, let's see what other ones do we have up in here that I can keep reading for y'all. Like a good night of midnight confessions going on here. We have a poem from a friend of ours, Felon out there. Let's see. This is from Felon, who's out there in our poetry land, and I'm going to go ahead and read this for her. And this is Tulips for Wayne. I'm somewhat surprised to see that Wayne try to make me, Felon, die. So many men attempt, as they're left to repent, false trust when I'm with. Letting you have a victory dance until the bitch in me takes a stance. Dominance expands, forget romance. I'm in command if you live it by chance. Oh dear, did you draw a little blood, tasting your confidence on my tongue? Licking the cut is your soul being smudged, going drown in the flood to your own blood, being drugged, is showing love to a neck rub, saving you a ride back on your bike, take what's left of you on a little hike, pieces of flesh left as a guide. Moral of this story, thinking you can fuck with Felon becomes your demise. So part of this story is that there's this really great poet named Wayne, and he went about trying to kill every poet he knew. So there's a whole series of Wayne Jet going and trying to kill everyone. So that is one of the greatest series that you could possibly think of being involved in. He definitely killed me, and he killed Pretty Bird with quite a bit of sensation. Talk about being naughty. That was definitely some of the things that he did, which was really kind of fabulous.
Hello.
Hey,
I don't know what is going on. Microsoft has completely, you know, detached all of our things. I lost Sweet Pea. I was gone. Now Sweet Pea's gone.
yes.
So we read Felon, yes?
No, she was gonna read her second
But she read Felon.
early on. Yes.
Okay, that was the last thing I heard.
Did, did,
I was just on there and she read Felon. She didn't put her on the board though.
I
Oh.
didn't hear her read Felon though. I was gone at that point.
Oh, so we've just all been playing shuffleboard with the studio. Okay, so my computer crashed and you guys were still on. And
Yes.
Microsoft has decided to be like, oh, we need to shut your shit down. I was like, no, because it's not 2 o'clock in the morning. And so I got on my phone. You guys were talking Felon. And then that crashed everything. And so I'm having an issue with this service because something is going on.
Yeah.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, Sweet Pea is trying to get back in, and then we can have all the discussion. I could have sworn the last thing that she read was Tulips for Wayne.
I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, that's the one that I heard. And it is very it's very feisty. Felon is very, very feisty. Saving you a ride back on your bike, take what's left of you out on a little hike. Pieces of flesh left as a guide. Moral of this story, think you can fuck with Felon becomes your demise. That is freaking awesome. I love her and her feistiness, and Sweet Pea is back.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
And now look at all three of us together, because what in the actual fuck? Seriously, I was in the middle of going on and on and on, and it booted me. And then I heard you read Felon, but Rack didn't, because it booted him. And then it booted you, and now I'm back. I don't even know what the hell's going on. It's like playing musical hosts. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. But we are back now, so hopefully none of that was actually completely cut off, and it's still one cohesive show, because it says an hour and 34 minutes. So hopefully that's what it was. And people out there are just like, these people are crazy a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit crazy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I read Me and I read Felon, and then it was gone.
I don't see any of it on the board.
Oh, yeah. I just kept going. I just kept reading.
But
so,
how are people supposed to follow us if they don't know what we're reading?
I don't know. Me, I got nervous. So I apologize, people.
So what did you read? Because I have no record. It's not on anything.
I read my second one. I'll put them on the board now. I apologize. Everybody left. I was like, hello. And I just wanted to keep talking. So I kept talking.
You kept reading.
I kept reading, kept talking, doing my thing. So.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't get to hear it. All right, so you read, Felon read, and did Rack comment?
Nobody comment. There was nobody there.
Why are you reading poems to nobody, woman?
All right. I didn't want dead air.
She's reading to the audience.
I was reading.
Well, that's what the conversation is for. All right, so which one did you read for you? Read that one again.
Okay, I will. I read this one.
Is it on the board?
Yes. It is on the board.
Did you put it in the
no,
chat? Okay, I'll do that. I got it.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Whenever you're ready.
Over the edge. Her cinnamon hair fell in ringlets around her dark brown eyes, and a pink leather pet collar hugged her neck. Eyes forward, she waited on her knees with hands tied behind her back. She ached with anticipation. Minding her manners, she never shoved anything in her mouth all at once. With a delicate flick of her tongue, she licked the salted rim, focusing on folded skin. Gentle is the suckling on a lollipop head. Rude to choke on overflow. Take it slow and swallow. And pull.
You know, so I'm kind of loving the contrast between the choking and the whitewash and the taking it slow and swallowing, I have to say, because all the things I kind of love that. You know, it is there's something to be said about the collars with the D rings and having to be strung up and all the things. But here's the thing. I like it when they sit and stay. I like it when they assume the position. I like it when they know the rules. And I like this because of that. You know, eyes forward, on her knees, hands behind her back. And you know what's coming. And you wait. And the more you wait, the more eager you get. And the more eager you get, the harder it is to wait. And there's something beautiful about that line that kind of dances on desire and obedience, you know? And knowing how they want what they want without necessarily having to be implicitly told, and knowing exactly what to do in that moment, because rules are rules, and you know what you know. I find that to be delicious. I do. I'm a girl who likes their silence because it is my job to make sure they can't be silent. And I take great pleasure in dancing on that line. And so I like this. It's like we tend to run opposite, but I absolutely like minding her manners, you know, doing exactly what needs doing, exactly as it's meant to do. There's something delightful about that kind of obedience, about getting exactly what it is you want or need. And then in that, they get exactly what it is they want or need. And it's this wonderful symbiotic relationship. And I think that you wrote this beautifully. So, Raconteur, your thoughts?
I have too many unfortunate associations. So, her relationship, it starts with Hatter and goes to Oz, and now I'm hearing we represent the lollipop guild. So it's not working. I mean, I love the imagery, I love the idea of it, but I can't separate it from the little guy with the from the
I'm
and the
melting.
so,
I'm melting.
yeah, it's just unfortunate for me, but the
Oh,
idea of
like
it,
you wouldn't give anything to be that lollipop. You can't fool me.
well, that's where I was going with that. Yeah, it's when I'm finally able to separate, the imagery from my, ice cream humor. It's yeah, there's definitely jealousy there, definitely.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness. I don't know if Titus is still out there, but I want to read him. So, Titus, if you're out there, would you mind me reading The Ballad of Burning Need? Because I really want to.
I want to get drunk.
You want to get? I don't want to get drunk. I like all my senses about me so I can remember all the things exactly as they were.
Mead.
Oh no.
Mhm. Yeah.
OMG. I would really like, I don't even know if he's still there. I kind of want to read it anyway. I mean, he let us read before. It's on a bunch of other stuff. Do I do it? I think I'm going to because it's so delightful. Let me grab it. I mean, I could read me, I could read you. We could do all the things, but it's
Well,
Titus.
Felon didn't get read.
Felon Gobble, I heard Felon get read. Did you want to read her again? Sweet, are you with us?
We lost. I think we lost Sweet Pea.
No, she's there. It looks like she's there. Sweet, say something. Oh, nope, now she's gone. Nope, she's not gone. You're gone. Somebody's gone.
I'm here.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to get a hold of her. She's supposed to call in and read her off.
Aren't we all?
Yes.
Okay. I'm reading Titus. Okay, every time I hear that beep, it's like somebody's coming in or coming out, and I don't see anybody doing anything. That's driving me stinking nuts. Because I stop what I'm doing to go to the room. I'm going to read me some Titus. I love me some Titus.
Me too.
Okay. This is the Ballad of Burning Need. And it goes like this. This is the Ballad of Burning Need by Titus Llewellyn. And it goes like this. I felt her breath like smoke upon my chest, a furnace hidden deep beneath her tongue. No prayer could cool the fever she possessed. No bell could warn me where my soul was flung. She smiled as if salvation lay in sin, and I, too willing, knelt without a plea. Her touch became the gospel of my skin, her voice the hymn that brought me to my knee. She claimed no mercy, only flesh for due, and hell applauded, craving payment too. We danced where reason dared not intervene, along a blade of want too sharp to name. Her kiss, a flame that mocked all things serene, made ash of honor, dignity, and shame. She drank my will the way a sinner drinks, slow, deliberate, knowing I would break. She learned my pulse. It rises and it sinks, then pulled me deeper for desire's sake. And though I knew my ruin had begun, I begged her darkness not to turn and run. No lover's oath was spoken in that fire. No promise carved in tenderness or grace. She dealt in raw, ungovernable desire, not gentle vows a softer heart could trace. Her nails wrote scripture down my trembling back, a doctrine forged in craving without end. I yielded every guard I'd sworn to track, too far to plead, too desperate to defend. And in her eyes I saw the devil grin, a mirror made of every hidden sin. Yet still I lingered, craving one more breath. Though every breath drew closer to the flame, I knew her love was welded fast to death, yet whispered, take me, burn me just the same, for some are saved by faith and some by fear. But I was lost to pleasures forged in night. No paradise could ever hold me near once I tasted that forbidden light. So down I sank, content within my fall, a willing captive to her blazing call. If hell should rise to chain me for my crime, let chains be shaped in likeness to her thighs. If demons mock my passion over time, let them confess they'd fall for such a prize. For better damned beneath her fevered reign than crowned in heaven's cold and undefiled. I'll take my fate in rapture, bound with pain, a sinner marked, but utterly beguiled. And when they ask what lured my soul below, I'll answer simply, I had no wish to go. End poem. Oh, and this is why I love me some Titus, because here is the thing. It is all the things. It is that yearning, that kind of real life sin that falls this side of hellbound debauchery, that is all the passion of the flesh, the fevered thing where you give in to desire, where it is lust in all of its deadly glory. And here's the thing, it's not just temptation, it's more than that. You are tied to the feeling like it's a drug, and you're in there. And then you've got this, my favorite of all these lines is, I'll take my fate in rapture bound with pain. Because here's the thing, that line is both nuanced and straightforward. To me, because I am who I am, I'll take my fate in rapture bound with pain is where I dance that line of happiness, because that line between pleasure and pain moves sometimes quicker than one would think. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to be in those moments where your body kind of betrays you a little bit, and it likes what it likes, and things don't shrink, they grow, and it is what it is. And I kind of like that. But if you are talking faith and you are giving yourself over to sin willingly, you could be very conflicted, whether that is psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, because the body feels like the body feels, and it's all things calling to heaven, but it's supposed to be a sin. And here's the thing, desire is a very strong pull, a very satisfying pull. And when it is animal in its attraction, and I'm not just talking a little bit of magnetism, sometimes it goes full primal, and it's all that there is, and the rest of the world ceases to exist. And it's not about what's best for you, it's about what the moment is, and every moment after. And you can't get enough, because it settles something in you, or it sharpens something in you, or all the things all at once. And this is beautiful. This knows I have no business being over here, and I'm going to do it anyway. And this does not even remotely hint at any kind of betrayal of other people. This is just desire in and of itself. No lover's oath was spoken in that fire. It was not about, I want to keep you forever. It's about, I need to have you right now completely. I need you. I'm going to devour you, devour me. And it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it's written as a sonnet chain of perfection and heat and sorry, I'm not sorry. And I kind of love that. I love that it ends. And then when they ask what lured my soul to hell, well, you know what? That's exactly where I wanted to be. Thank you very much. And I love that. And there's no shame in that fire. And there shouldn't be shame in that fire. This is about as honest and as raw sex can be, and as beautiful as it can be, because it's not the thrusting and the sounds and the whatever. It is this a furnace hidden deep beneath her tongue, because sometimes that tongue does magic things. I'm just saying. She smiled as if salvation lay in sin. And sometimes it does, for Pete's sake, because that kind of sin can wash away all the crap in a day. It can relieve stress. It can take away physical pain. It is magic in and of itself, and it lingers. And I love this so very much. So very much. So, Sweet Pea, your thoughts. You're muted. I don't know if so you muted. You are okay. So your thoughts.
I guess if you can find somebody that's willing and able and capable of taking away everything that all your stress, and you find that desire you just can't, you want to give everything up for. And so I sank content with my fall, a willing captive to her blazing call. And in her eyes I saw the devil grin, a mirror of every hidden sin. I mean, it's kind of laid out that way. Um, if hell should rise to chain me for my crime, let the chains be shaped in the likeness to her thighs. And this is quite the
There are worse
poem.
places to be chained. I'm just saying.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely the place to go. Too far to plead, too desperate to defend. I mean, I love again, once again, all his metaphors and the master wordsmith that he is. It's and when they ask me what burdened my soul below, I'll simply answer, I had no wish to go. So it's, I followed my passion. So it was what I wanted and when I wanted it, and it was raptured bound with pain. I love that sentence and in all of this. It's, whatever pain I have to endure, I'm gonna take what it is. So it's just very passionate and very honest, and it's a great piece on uh, Titus. It's just beautiful. Um, McIntyre, your thoughts on it?
I, what can you say? That last line, um, I interpret that, I guess, a little different than you guys when he says, "I had no wish to go." I mean, he followed his heart. It, it's not so much that it was against his will. He just, he went where he went. And my interpretation, my impression of this entire piece is, one of the more elusive, most beautiful things I feel when it comes to being, with someone, and exchanging passion like that. The idea of abandon, and not, looking at restrictions, or what other people think, how things are supposed to be. It's just, things are going to turn into what they turn into, and not being guilty about it, not resisting it, to just going with it because it feels right. It feels like, this is where I'm going, and this is how I want it to be. I wouldn't want it any other way. The thought that thought and again, that to me, that also speaks of the other idea of how something, um, it's not an obligation, it's not promised, it's something that's done by choice, and he's choosing not to resist. He's choosing to, go with the emotions, to embrace it, and that's where the beauty is to me. Because there's people like, oh, I shouldn't, and you see it and hear it all the time, and that nothing irritates me more. It's like, that whole, play of, some people say why, I say why not, idea. It's like, you want to be contrarian, you want to do it just because somebody's saying, one thing, and you want to prove that you can be the other way. That's a different animal. But this is more, well, even if I wanted to resist, I couldn't, because, this is what I feel. And, laying giving into your emotions like that, there's nothing more beautiful to me, and that's the beauty in this, that I just so enjoy.
Absolutely. Um, and it's one of my favorites. It's just one of my favorites. It's got all of the things in there. There comes a time in one's life, and maybe not everyone, but a lot of someone's, where it's not so much about love, but it is about being kind of carried away in the moment. And whether it's in
Mhm.
passion or affection or whatever it is, when you find yourself in places with people that it doesn't matter anybody else in that moment, it doesn't matter what comes next, it matters that moment. There's no promise of anything. It's just, I need this now. I find those memories to kind of maintain their potency through time, you know, where they stay strong and you still feel them, because some things fade and some doesn't. And they're your secrets, you know? And between you and whoever else it was that you shared them with, it's not necessarily things that you can explain. And most people can't put them into words because we can't all be Titus. But I love the way this feels, because it feels like you're being pulled into that scenario, and you are, and it's not so much that you're helpless, though you're kind of helpless. You don't feel helpless. You feel powerful in your choice. Be like, I am fully aware that I am ensorcelled and I'm going to do the damn thing for all it's worth, because it's not going to last forever, because there are no promises made. And I kind of love the idea of that, probably because I never had those moments, because I don't do strange, because ew.
Uh,
But I love the abandon with which this
yeah.
was depicted, and it feels real to me. It feels honest. It feels like, how do you write like that and not have actually felt that? You know what I mean? However fleeting. And I love that. And he can write just about anything that feels honest. I mean, it may or may not be, but it feels that way, which adds a depth to it that touches, you know, different layers of the reader. And I love everything about this. This is
Mm.
probably my favorite Sexy Titus. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really like today's poem too, but which I am still claiming as my own. Oh my goodness. Okay, so coming up on Thursday, sweet.
Coming up on Thursday is 3 a.m. poetry. That is when you are, let's see, get that up there. I've got it up here. Maybe. Board. My computer is slow, and I apologize. But when yesterday is over and today is still asleep, and the tired, quiet words bleed to paper, born in unfiltered emotions, we explore the freedom of words that come forth in the darkness before dawn. And that will be poetry at 3 a.m. on June 4th.
And on Tuesday, it is shut your pie hole, because everybody talks like they know what's best. It's easy to judge others after the fact. Sometimes we have to know when to keep it to ourselves. So just shut your pie hole.
I love that, by the way. And then on 6/11, we'll be lightheartedly taking a look at the stereotypes about aging. And because age is more than a number, it's a mindset. So some people just refuse to fade out, slow down, and play the role that society assigns them, because old is not relevant, or old does not mean irrelevant. So come join us with that. That should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And so thank you for sharing time with us. You can find our podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. Just type in Pretty Sweet, PRTTY Sweet, and click on the red shoes and follow us to 300 plus hours of all kinds of discussions. Not all of them are plagued with glitches, you know, so that's good.
Yeah.
You can find us live every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. You can listen to us live on Facebook, on X/Twitter, and on YouTube. And if you want to join our lives, feel free to find us on allpoetry.com under Pretty Sweet Distractions. Again, type in PRTTY Sweet, click on those same red shoes, and knock on our door, and we'll be happy to let you in, and you can join us live. So you can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the places. Like, follow, share, leave your opinion and our opinion. Click all the hearts and show us some love. And we had an awesome time tonight, and we hope that you did too. However, if you did not, you can fuck all the way
All the
up.
way off.
Good night, everyone.